Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. I'm just going to get through some of the top news items here. Alberta planting pace is actually off to a good start, and as you plant more, you're going to end up with more confidence that the crop is coming in. EU actually delays the Trump increased 50% tariffs as he was getting a little ticked off with the pace. So you can see here the 73% planted, and the other key feature on here is 56% canola seeded there as well. So next slide is actually not 100% related to the EU tariffs, but what are the important products that the EU actually major imports or major products that they supply the U.S. and it is pharmaceutical and medical stuff, and then the vehicles. So all of those things Trump has taken aim at to produce for himself in his own country. So it's pretty important to him. So reason why he's picking on EU could be just because of the three top things that are there, right? India's favoring corn to get planted because of their livestock industry, and it just makes sense, right? Eric Snodgrass has pointed out a couple areas that could be in deficit moisture areas, but then there's some flooding issues happening right around the areas here too. Some high heat in California could actually be impacting some of the crops down there as well. So back to areas of flooding. Yeah, so you've got some pretty heavy rainfall, and some of these areas that are getting moisture are going to have some crop losses. So the 95.3 million acres that the USDA said is going to be planted is probably going to start to get into some crop losses, and that might actually help corn a little bit there as well as we get on into the growing season, and they'll probably push that crop out, take their prevent plant, and move on. Active weather right there, we're in the eye where there's a flooding happening. Here's just a snapshot of the artificial intelligence over out till June 10th, and you can see that there's a pretty large area that's going to be a void. I hope that's wrong. Looks like there's going to be a fair bit of moisture in northern Alberta and then in Manitoba as well. Here's a European snapshot. Looks like there's going to be some moisture in some areas, but if you take note here, lighter colors, there's going to be some moisture over there. And if you look at where the deficit is based on the European Union weather, it's going to be maybe breaking some of that drought. I don't know. When looking at one of their reports, doesn't look like they're going to have a whole lot of problems or any problems in their production. There isn't a whole lot of deficits when you look at the yields there. Karen Braun pointed out the second week in a row where actual shipments of wheat has well exceeded their expectations. So that should help wheat or support wheat. If we're looking at the market here, canola is up 4, rapeseed is down, soybean oil is slightly up, crude oil is slightly up, soybeans are up, and then wheats are anywhere from 4 cents to 10 cents down. Kansas is 10 cents down, Canadian dollar down as well. So just have a look at it. You can see that there's a slowing of the pace here. I think chatting with Kyle, we're talking about 1044 as our take profit area. For those that are getting a little bit nervous with their positions on here, we should be tightening up stops or something like that so that let this market get up to this point, but protect it from big down days if there's something that's going to happen to do that. You can see that this curve is a lot more flat, a lot more steady. And we're looking for the 698 before we get into the protect more crop, make some sales at 698, protect more, with puts or short futures. Here's a monthly chart, and I'll show the soybean one here in a bit as well. But monthly chart is actually pretty positive here. And if we look at the differential between July and November, we're starting to narrow that gap a little bit here. European rapeseed looks like it's slowing for the last few days, but it still looks like it's supported here. Differential between canola and rapeseed for November is at $75, so it's not screaming anything to say that, hey, you're going to have to buy more Canadian canola here. It's probably at fair market value, somewhere in that $80 to $60 range. If we look at soybean oil futures, looking to get back to some of those last week highs if we can, or 2 week ago highs, and it all depends on the RFOs and all the renewable fuel mandates. I think that's what's going to push it around a little wee bit, and expect anything from the Trump administration. That's what I'll say. Soybean futures still looks like it's supported towards the bottom end of that, maybe upward channel a little wee bit. And if you look at your monthly chart, it doesn't have the same kind of emphasis that the canola does. Your soybean oil or crude palm oil, we're back down to previous areas where it does create demand. The other thing that I'll note is crude palm oil is now the cheapest oil, veg oil, again, where when it was up in here, it was actually the most expensive. It was more expensive than soybean oil and canola oil. Crude oil, just kind of floundering around. It looks like it's possibly even going a little bit down here, but it's a lot more affordable for travel season. I would expect that if there's anything that's going to make that market move up, it's going to be summer travel season. But Canadian dollar, we're at the top end of this kind of range, and I think it all depends on whether there's deals or no deals with these countries. Right now, there's only one. Besant has said that there's a whole slew of them coming, and China is a part of it. Mitch Miller was in this post on X, was just talking about the differential of Chicago wheat versus corn futures, and when it gets down to these lower values, it favors wheat to go into some of those rations, and that would chew up some of that. So low prices fix low prices, in other words. Minneapolis wheat, top end of the channel, needed to punch through at these multiple levels before you can say that you can get bullish here. Same thing with Kansas and Chicago. And here's your corn futures. It's not positive for the last couple of days, but if there's any good news, it could be some of this, which is bad news, the flooding and prevent plant acres and slowing of some of the planting as well. Live cattle, pretty positive here, and the same thing with feeder cattle. Cattle on feed came out on Friday, and it's still favoring a fair bit of beef production.